Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Erdin Herdian and I am the student of English Literature Department in State Islamic University of Sunan, Djati, Bandung, and I'm in the 4th semester. Well, today I'm going to explain verb patterns for the higher intermediate structure assignment, but I will not explain to you guys the all patterns. I will only explain one pattern, which is the verb pattern 18. But before I explain the pattern, I want to make sure that you know the structure to build the sentence, especially for this pattern, because in this pattern, the sentence has two objects, which it can be a little more complicated than usual. I guess we are ready for the explanation. So let's jump right into it. Three concepts you need to know in structured sentence are subjects, predicates, and objects. Subjects are the main noun that doing the action. The predicates include the verb, and objects are the other noun in the sentence that fall in the predicate and not the subject. Now let's have a look at the example. Andy gave Lisa the ball. Who's doing the action? That's right. Andy is doing the action and therefore is the subject of the sentence. The predicate then is the verb gave. And what are the objects? What are the other nouns and pronouns in the sentence? That's correct. Lisa and the ball are objects in the sentence. Now, I want to tell you guys the differences between the direct object and the indirect object. A direct object is the noun or pronoun receiving the action, and direct object answer the question what. Look again at the example. Andy gave Lisa the ball. The action is gave, so ask yourself, what is being given? That's right, the ball is being given. And so it is the direct object. Here's the thing. Sentence verbs must have something after them in order to make sense. Imagine that someone comes up to you and says, Andy gave. Most likely your response would be, Andy gave what? You're asking for the direct object. The action or the verb gave doesn't make sense unless you add an object into the sentence. An indirect object is the noun or pronoun affected by the action. Indirect objects answer the question to whom. You can think of an indirect object as the recipient of the direct object. Let's look again at the example. Andy gave Lisa the ball. We now know what Andy gave, but to whom did he give the ball? Yup, Lisa is the recipient of the ball, and so it is in the indirect object. After you know the differences between direct object and indirect object, now you can apply them to the verb pattern 18. In this pattern, the verb is followed by direct object, and then you have to add a preposition before the indirect object. So the form would be subject, verb, direct object, and then preposition, and then the indirect object. And basically, verb pattern 18 has three groups. The first one is using a preposition to, and then the second one is using preposition for, and both of them can be transferred or converted into the verb pattern 19, but not for the third one. Now let's look at the example for group 1. He sold his car to me. In that sentence, he is the subject and sold is the predicate, which is verb. So, to determine which one is the direct object, remember, you just have to ask yourself what is being sold. That's right, his car. So, in that case, his car is the direct object of this sentence. And of course, to is the preposition and then me is the indirect object. So if you get rid of me as indirect object, it would still make sense to say. Now let's go to the example of group 2. We have she bought a dictionary for her brother. It is same with the former group. She as a subject, both as a verb, and now we come to the objects. What is being bought? That's right, a dictionary. In this way, a dictionary is the direct object. And sure, for is the preposition, and of course, her brother is the indirect object. Now let's cover the indirect object with your hand. The sentence would be, she bought a dictionary. And it still makes sense. But if you do the opposite way, the sentence would be no make sense. She bought for her brother. You must be wondering, by what, right? Because of that, direct object is important in some sentences, and I would say that the indirect object is not too important in a sentence, but you can add it as a complement. So, I think that's all the explanation from me about the verb pattern 18. I'm sorry if there's a lot of mistake that I've made. I guess we come to the end of the video, and I hope that you guys have something and got something from my video. So see you later. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.